Hello, everybody. It is another Snarkfest after our long hiatus because you went on vacation and I had a pipe collapse, and yeah, it's just been hell. I was literally living in a hotel for a week or so, and that was fun. Like, picture the cheapest, seediest hotel you can imagine. Yeah, that's where I was living for a week. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I know. So today we are doing the one, the only Star Wars: A New Hope. Woo! The quintessential nerd film, I guess is the only way to say it. Um, I think everybody knows I love this movie. I've seen it more times than I care to count, including in theaters. This is the first movie I can remember seeing in theaters during one of its many, many re-releases. So yeah, I love this movie. I know more about it than any healthy adult should. I mean, Alec Guinness famously told would hate my guts because he told a kid who's seen Star Wars like 8 times never watch it again because he wanted the kid to experience real life. So yeah, it's like I don't experience real life because I have this. So yeah, uh, so yeah, yeah. So what is your experience with Star Wars? Fair enough. Love it. Yep. Fair enough. No, I do have to ask, do you have a memory of like watching it for the first time when it was revealed that, spoiler alert, that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father? Do you have a memory of that when you found that out? Or oh yeah, okay. Fair enough. So you just yeah, that's kind of how it is with me because I mean, that's one of my favorite things to do. Like go to YouTube and you can find like reactions, like especially little kids, like "Oh my god!" I love watching those. For me, I've always known it, so I don't know what my reaction would be because, like I said, I was watching these movies since before I can remember. So and I will say, anybody watching us, I do have the pro version now. So if you want to if you want to join the Snarkfest, feel free to message us. We can get you in. Mind you, we have to do it early before we actually start the freaking movie because we are watching this on Disney Plus. Actually, did you post? Yep, thank you. And welcome, James. James is his name, right? Your husband? What's up? It says you are. Hold on. Let me. Okay. Oh, hold on. I
I've
am
been
a
here the whole
professional, but
time.
not at this.
None of you heard my answers.
I am a professional, but not at this. Uh,
Oh god, that's funny.
fail of the day.
Yeah.
Uh, so okay. It says but you are on the same Disney Plus thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if we should really. Do you want to go through what you said earlier?
I was gonna say the quick part was the first time I
TLDR.
remember watching Star Wars was watching episode 6. So by that point, I know I had seen all of the movies, so I don't remember my response to finding out that Vader was Luke's father. Nothing. I've just always known because I've been watching this movie my whole life. My parents had it taped from the TV on Betamax. That's how long this has been in my life.
And my family they weren't signed copies, but it was like super limited edition release videos. We had literally 3 sets, 2 of which we could not watch because they were like, these are super valuable. We are not opening them type thing. So yeah.
No, like I said, we had taped from TV Betamax for the longest time. I think we borrowed them from a friend a few times to watch it on VHS whenever we stopped using the Betamax. And then my sister got the remastered version for her birthday when that came out in 97. So that is the version that I remember most, actually, is the one that everybody hates.
Fair enough. Hold on, I'm inviting one more person because one of my friends liked the video, so I'm like, hey, you want to join?
That's fine.
Well, like I said, I got the pro version. Might as well use it. So if he wants to join, might as well. So, but yeah, it's like I said, quintessential nerd movie. It's like almost a requirement, I think, that if you call yourself a nerd, you have to have seen this movie at least once.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's necessary. A lot of people like Star Trek.
That's true. Although that reminds me, one of the first panels I ever hosted was Star Wars versus Star Trek debate panel.
Did you see what?
No, there's nothing there. All right, I just had to check. He's still digging at underneath the curio. So I apologize if anybody hears loud scratching noises. It's just my cat being a cat.
Fair enough. Cat being a cat. So, I don't know. I don't think anybody else is going to join us, unfortunately. But like I said, if anybody wants to join us, real quick, hurry, let me know now. So yeah, I think we spent enough time ranting. Anything else you want to add before we get going?
Nope, I think I'm good.
Okay. Now, I do remember, I've told you a little bit about this. When we first get started, I do ask that you let me go on for a little bit because there's a little rant I want to go on. You know a little bit about this, but I haven't told you the whole story. So again, just give me like a minute to go on, and then you can start. You'll know when you're ready. Okay.
All right.
So, and again, anybody. So we're watching this on Disney Plus. Anybody watching this in the past, feel free to get synced up to where we are watching. So if you want to watch our commentary with this, get synced up right now. And in 3, 2, 1, play. And do remember, we are on Disney Plus, so it's going to take us like 5-6 seconds to actually start. And there the movie goes. Well, maybe not, because now we just got the circle. Oh, what do you know? Come on.
That might be on my end. Apparently, I don't have internet connection.
All right, Oh, okay, hold on. It just started for me. Is it started for you?
No, now we're getting circles.
I see the 20th Century Fox.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
I'm hearing stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Not seeing
again,
anything.
lower the volume. I don't want to get struck again, so lower the volume as low as you can. I am like 3 seconds ahead of you. I am like a second ahead of you, so keep it low.
Did you pause it?
Now here we go. I didn't pause it, no.
Hold on, we're having issues.
I paused it now.
Okay. Give me a second. No,
Okay.
I don't know if I need a Okay, let's try it now. I see things on the screen.
Okay. I'm literally bringing it back to the beginning. Okay. Are you all set?
Yeah.
What is your husband doing?
Trying to find out what the cat's clawing at.
I just see him moving a cabinet and I'm like, oh God, this could end badly. I just don't want anything to fall on him. Okay.
No knives!
Have fun, buddy.
Oh, dear Lord.
Your cat's being a brat.
Yes. He just got stuck behind the cabinet. It's fine.
Are you serious? What?
He's not stuck.
He's not stuck. He's fine.
Oh, my Lord.
He can get out. Trust me. He's okay.
A cat got stuck.
There's a
behind
boy.
the cabinet.
Is that what it is?
He wants to play with
it's his
toy.
purple ball.
Wow. All right. So again, let's try this again. Again, resync up, and 3, 2, 1.
That's going to need to get lowered.
Yeah. So, can you lower the volume? I hear the volume a little.
Yes. I'm working on that right now. I don't want us to get kicked off again.
Yeah. And yeah. Okay. So, what do you see right now in the TV screen?
Now it says syncing the group. We'll catch up. Don't worry. All right. Now it's starting to scroll.
Okay.
It says Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay. So, a long time ago, in 1977, said 20th Century Fox was preparing to release a sci-fi movie. This movie was delayed, slightly over budget because of the large special effects. And although it didn't have any major banking stars in it, they were hoping that with the good special effects and the story mode, that it was going to be a blockbuster. So they spent the exorbitant sum of $17 million on the special effects for this movie in order to, to pump it out. But unfortunately, that movie got delayed, and they bumped up a kids' movie named Star Wars. The movie I was talking about is called Damnation Alley, a movie that is so bad it has not been released on DVD. It is on YouTube now for free, so we may end up doing that in a long time, and I will have to get alcohol. So yeah, yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, so but that just when this movie came out, they had no one had any faith in this movie being what it was. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's a stupid kids movie." Even the people making it were, "Oh, it's a stupid kids movie." No one expected it to become Star Wars. And another thing that needs to be mentioned is that when this movie came out, theaters didn't exist like they do now. Because now, when a movie comes out, it's released everywhere at once, and everybody can watch the movie, doesn't matter where. When this movie came out, it was, you have to wait till your specific theater has the movie in order to go watch the movie. So there are people who had watched it 5 times. It's like, I wonder how the hell that worked. So, yeah. Great opening of, just tiny little ship running away from a giant battleship, and you automatically get a feel for, they're in trouble. You just get a feel for, these are the good guys, and they're in trouble. Although the silver C-3PO droid in back, I don't know what its name is, just, I love that they included, but I really feel, but it's just there. Although
I'm sure it has a name too that someone out there knows.
Oh, it definitely has a name. I was going to get into that when we do the next movie, when we do Empire Strikes Back, because there's a perfect example. But yeah, every character in this, they all have names. They all have backstories. I don't know all of them, but I know more than I care to admit. So, yeah. And then, again, it's just perfect visual storytelling of, okay, now they're being boarded. And Anthony Daniels playing C-3PO. And Kenny Baker as R2-D2. I do not know how they can be in those suits and not get claustrophobic. Because, yeah, I would be freaking the flip out if I was wearing that shit. And before the age of special effects, where they literally just light a bunch of fireworks in a room. And yeah. Because that's what they did.
What, for the good guys, the rebels shooting the... Yeah, I don't know.
When the door explodes open.
This scene makes stormtroopers... This is the only time stormtroopers can aim, and the rebels can't.
Yeah. No, but when the door explodes open, what they did is they literally just, fireworks, and just threw live fireworks into the room. Yeah. Ouch.
Nobody was even shooting when that guy died.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said out. And this scene is always kind of like, I love the scene of R2-D2 and C-3PO just walking by as everybody's shooting, but it's like, that's a little on the nose. Yeah, and Darth Vader. David Prowse is the actual body of Darth Vader, Whereas obviously James Earl Jones
for playing Darth Vader in this movie. James Earl Jones does not have credit.
Yep, unfortunately. Which he should, because he's just amazing. But yeah, David Prowse is a bodybuilder who is so... because in the original script of that movie, it calls for him to cross his arms. Well, David Prowse is so buff, he can't actually cross his arms. So that's why he put him on his steps
like that.
Yeah. I mean, because like I said, in the original script, it was, for him to cross his arms, but he can't physically do that. He's just so massive, which I'm not sure if you've ever seen pictures of him. The guy's built like a brick, you-know-what house. Like, he could bench press me with one arm. Yeah. And only 6 of the troopers survive. Wow. Granted, obviously, they're likely more. It's just,
fun.
Yeah, and like here, I'm pretty sure David Prowse could actually pick the guy up with one arm. Obviously, they didn't do that. He's obviously standing on a box, but still. Just because, it's... Yeah, you don't want to oh, crap, we have lost Marie. Hold on, we have lost Marie. Dears. Hold on. Yeah, we're keep going. Yeah, keep going. Dearest. I hate it when this happens. So we're going to keep going the movie, and we already saw Princess Leia. This is where we actually see she's actually a little bit of a badass. She actually knows how to use a gun and blast one of these poor bastards. Welcome back. Welcome back, Marie.
Yeah. I don't know what happened. My computer just kicked me off of this.
Yeah. And then here where you see R2-D2 is Batman of this universe. Anything technology, I got it. Don't worry. He just opens up a door and he opens up an escape pod. And then, I'm not getting in there. Crap. Yes, you are. And I do love R2-D2 has a slight chuckle of, haha. Yeah. Although this scene here is a little confusing. It's always been. It's like there's no flight forms. Don't bother shooting it. Are you budgeting by laser?
Should have shot it anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like, old-fashioned torpedoes where you have physical things that you're using up.
Yeah.
They're lasers.
Yeah. So it is one of the things that was just like, why don't you shoot? I mean, I understand if you're in that, mind you, that the people in that situation likely don't know what the hell is going on. So it is very plausible that they're like, they don't know that they're after the secret plans. They're just doing their job. But still, it is like, why don't you shoot it? Even if it is just a short circuit and, goes off, just shoot it anyway.
No, I'm playing fetch with my dog. Oh, wow, yeah. My husband just put up a photo of David Prowse. That dude is buff.
Yeah, he's massive.
I'm pretty sure his arms are bigger than his neck.
Mm-hmm. Probably. No, I've never met David Prowse, unfortunately. I really wanted to. I think he passed away, unfortunately. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I don't want to look it up while watching the movie.
He's dead.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, unfortunately.
He died when he was 85 ago.
Mm-hmm. So that wasn't too long ago. Yep. And then here's the captain of the ship they're on, I guess. Although something always bugs me is you dropped off again. Something that always bugs me is why would they be running, because Tatooine is set up as being small out of the way. Why would the ship be running, by Tatooine? What the heck? So, Grant, apparently it's not that out of the way so how do we get into this mess? Yeah.
Everybody ends up on Tatooine at some point.
Yeah, no.
This part does bug me. It's like we seem to be making stuff for it our lot. Like, you actually don't remember much beyond, you've only remember because they have this memory wiped at the end of episode 3. So he wouldn't remember that much. R2-D2 could make that line, yeah.
Well, that's only because, again, Lucas didn't really keep much of this movie in mind.
Of course. Yeah. No, that's something, again, we were going to get into when we get into the next episode of, Lucas did not have this planned out. I mean, he always says, I mean, in every interview he has ever done, he always says that what he did is he wrote the entire story of episode 1 through episode 6. And it was like, well, okay, 3 through 6 is a better, so we're going to go with that. But in reality, no, that's complete baloney. When they made this movie, there was no, he did not have the story for episode 5. He did not have the episode 6. He had none of that planned out. It was just, hey, we're making a movie. And yeah. And that's another thing of like, you know, how did George Lucas go from making Star Wars to the prequels? And I have a theory about that, which Marie, you frozen again. I don't know if you're still here or not. No, she's not. Her screen just went blue. Ah, geez, and crackers, your internet sucks, Marie. So yeah, I do like how they had, you know, a little, you know, they R2D2 and C3PO, they're not actually friends, unfortunately. And yeah, and the skeleton in the background, the Crate Dragon skeleton, which the Mandalorian kind of is really changed that, because in the Mandalorian, the Crate Dragon is basically a giant worm. In this, the Crate Dragon is actually like an actual dragon. So it's a little, doesn't really link up. Oh, dear. Connection issues. I hate it when this happens. And R2D2 going, he's in a, hey, he got lucky in that he actually has a smooth pathway instead of rolling on actual flipping sand. Yep. Yep. Okay. They restarted their modem, so that should help. Yeah. So here's hoping once they get, I will rejoin them once they get back on. Oh, technology just does not like us. And here we see our Jawas, which pretty much, if you have a kid, you know, anybody in production, hey, we need some short people for these. Hey, you got kids who want to be in a movie? Sure. So it's the same thing that what happens with the Ewoks. So these are literally just kids in costumes. And yeah, I mean, mind you, I do believe they actually did get some actual small people, like actual, I don't want to say the term midgets, but you know what I mean, to actually fill some of them. But yeah, most of them are just kids. Most of these are just children in costume, just doing their thing. Because at this time, it was a lot easier and cheaper to just dress kids up in costume versus dressing an actual actor up in a costume. And yeah, and here when they're picking R2D2 up, obviously it is just an empty. Kenny Baker is obviously not in there, because there's actually nothing connecting the R2D2 shell to the actual chassis except for gravity. So when they pick him up, the actors up front they're actually, you know, making sure his cone doesn't fall off, because like I said, there's nothing connected there except for gravity. So I mean, and that's why Kenny Baker, when sitting in there, could just turn it so easily. I mean, granted, it's the same thing. It's the same thing that happens with actual battleships. Like a battleship cannon, those are not connected. They're not welded to the ship. So if you were to turn the ship upside down, they fall out, because, like I said, the only thing holding them there is gravity. Yeah. Oh, and there we see the restraining bolts, which gets important later. Whee! Up the hose. So yeah. And yeah, this is an actual set. I love it. And yeah, here we got another person in an actual robot costume. Oh man, I hate to think how miserable those would be. Yeah, but yeah, all these robots, there's a person in those robots. Yeah. It's insane. So yeah, all these robots, there's a person in there. Don't know who it is. Could be Kenny Baker. We have lost Marie. Oh boy. Sure, they're trying to restart it, but apparently they don't have any internet connection. I don't want to do this by myself. And here we see that, how lucky is it that R2-D2 and C-3PO both end up on the same ship? Yeah, and obviously a lot of what they did, like a lot of that stuff in the background is just garbage. I mean, literal just trash from the extra. They didn't make props. It is literally just, hey, we have this thing. It's garbage. We're not going to use it again. Throw it in there. Yeah, and here we see the actual upgraded edition of a ship taking off in the background and the dugongs walking, which are those lizard creatures, if you're watching this. Because in the originals, they don't have those. In the originals, they literally cut to stormtroopers, and it's like, oh, look, there were something in there. Yeah, we're going to see it here in a second. Yeah, some was the pod. Yeah. Yeah, and looks are droids because they found a little ring piece. I wonder what that ring piece is. It's always kind of confused me. I mean, granted, it does make sense that these droids are probably old, not exactly in built perfect condition. Because that's a thing that this movie really created, is that up until this movie, we had Star Trek. There weren't a lot of real big sci-fi movies, but whenever they were always like brand like Star Trek. The ship is brand new. It's super nice. This is the first movie where we see it's a used universe. Like the Sandcrawler, that's not brand new. That thing's been around the block a few times. Hold on. So I'm trying to work with Marie to see if she can get back on. Apparently they're having major internet problems now. Oh, wait, there she is. She got back. Yay! Welcome back. Granted, I haven't. I mean, it's just been me ranting. Yeah, there's actually a robot. Yeah, we just saw a robot where there actually wasn't someone in it, and that was that robot with all these arms sticking out of it. Yeah, that one is actually like an RC car or whatever, or an actual robot being moved around. But every other thing, that's an actual person in a suit. So, welcome back. Sorry you're having internet connection issues again, because, yeah. That is one thing. When we actually meet in person, we're actually going to have to just do a Snarkfest of, without any internet. That'd be nice.
That would be so nice.
Nope. Yeah.
There we go. Here we go.
And we see Luke, our main hero, who starts out as just a little, yeah. So.
Man, Uncle Owen looked like he went from 20 to 50 in 17 years here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's like I do love as like I'd have no need for a protocol droid, and then what's C-3PO doing? He's selling himself. He's like, yes, you do. Of course you do.
He's like, everybody needs one of me. What do you mean? Also, lived with you. Don't you remember?
It is. Yeah, no doubt. It is literally. I mean, granted, he was silver back then, not gold, but still, you would think he would recognize. But yeah, literally, it does kind of. It's like. C-3PO is basically his own infomercial of order now. He's just trying to sell himself. I do love it. Yeah, it's like and the red one. Yeah,
the red one. Pick R2.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I do love that. But again, like I said, someone's actually in that suit. There's someone in that suit. And then what they do is they just poke something like a little firework out and then pop it. Yeah. And then, boom. Yeah, see? He has a bad motivator. He just doesn't want to work, man. He's super depressed. I do love that.
I like how C-3PO waited until then to be like, take the R2 unit.
Yeah.
Like dang, R2, you really took off C-3PO if he was going to leave you behind like that.
Yeah. No doubt. But yeah, like I said, he's like his own infomercial of just like, order now and get this R2D. He's just selling himself. I love it. Granted, it is kind of like, you're lucky, R2. And this is the point where it's like, you're actually like, yeah, they are friends. Although something that we should also get into is how come R2-D2 can't actually speak? Because that's very inefficient for it's like, okay, it's gonna be communicating with these people. It should actually be able to communicate with people. Yeah. And then I do want to get into this. There's a meme going around of like at 19, Leia was leading the resistance while Luke was playing with an RT with a ship going pew pew. I'm 32 years old. I still do that. I mean, seriously.
But it's not just that he's playing with the ship going pew pew. He's whining like a little kid. I'm never going to get out of here.
Yeah, that's fair. Mind you, I don't do that. I just because, like, here's what I've learned a long time ago is hope into one hand, you know what into the other. See which one fills up faster. Yeah. Hello. I do love how he actually looks into the thing and goes hello before it. Yeah, and then here's like one of the rebellions, like, dude. Although
if you were ever taken by Darth Vader or the Imperial Army, you would crumble so fast. He wouldn't even crumble. He would just start talking and tell them all their plans.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you wouldn't need to be tortured at all. You just blurt everything out. Boom. Yeah. I always wondered what shoots him back like that. I mean, I'm assuming he got like a shock or something, and then this video comes up. Yeah, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. And yeah, the most quoted line, and probably from this movie, I think, just because, yeah. I seriously, there are so many podcasts or anything where people will go, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope, or help me, so-and-so, you're my only hope, just because it's so iconic.
It's just such a simple, easy phrase that is applicable to so many situations.
Yeah, although that reminds me a while ago. Like I mentioned, when we first started doing these, I had a really crappy job, and I literally started doing is turning my phone off or like silencing it, so that if they called me to like, hey, come into work, I wouldn't hear them and I wouldn't answer. Well, but if I ever answer the phone and to get called into work, my boss would go, help me, Jacob, you're my only hope. It's like, oh, shut up, I hate you. And yeah, it would usually work because, yeah. But yeah, like I said, what I ended up doing is just silencing my phone. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I was asleep, or oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, just because I can't work 60 freaking hours a week and not freaking snap. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how that works, how a screen bolt can short circuit system, but hey, why not? Yeah, and then here, this part always gets me. Yeah, he takes it off. R2D2 immediately turns off the message and plays dumb.
Because R2D2 now has full control of his functions, and he's like, that message isn't for you.
But the part that gets me is if I were Luke, I'd be like, all right, putting this thing back on. Just put the strange.
I just like how he's like, oh, I don't know an Obi-Wan Kenobi. I just know a Ben Kenobi because Kenobi is such a common last name across the universe. Yeah,
no doubt. Although that does remind me of, there was a fan theory before the actual prequels came out. There was a fan theory that, because what we hear them talk about the Clone Wars, and Obi-Wan sounds like the letters O-B and the letter 1. So there was a theory that Obi-Wan Kenobi was actually a clone of Ben Kenobi, which unfortunately that never came to fruition. But that, talk about something to think about.
That would have been interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, here we go. Some little background.
Yeah, and here, exposition background. I do like, it's like, do you know what he's talking about? And, it cuts to the guy and, he's like, oh, yeah, I know who it is. But no, we're not going to let you talk.
It's exposition that they then ignore when they made the prequels. That's what's happening right now. Yeah.
Which, thank God. But, yeah, it's like, then here, luckiest line probably in this movie coming up where Luke walks away. We got to wait for it, unfortunately. Yep. Yeah, and here we got, like, Luke wants to get he is so hard to get the hell out of here, which I do know plenty of people who just They grow up, and what do? They move away. I mean, my uncle is a prime example of grew up in South Dakota. What did he do as soon as he graduated? He moved to Oregon. So I get it. I certainly get it. Granted, South Dakota, not a lot interesting out here. It's kind of just farmland. So, yeah, I don't blame him, but yeah. Yeah, only one more. Yeah. And I can think of plenty of farmers who have these exact same conversation with their kids. Because farm kids, they do work. Yeah. Yeah, there's just too much of his father in him. And luckiest line right here, that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah, talk about lucky. And here we see the two suns setting, which...
Owen didn't even know his father.
Yeah. Well, you met him once.
The whole premise is no one actually knows that Vader is Anakin, except for Obi-Wan and Padme and the Emperor. A couple other people. It is possible
Obi-Wan told him. It is possible Obi-Wan told him.
It's possible what?
Obi-Wan told Owen that, hey, your brother-in-law or stepbrother, he kind of went bad.
No, he probably told him that so first of all, Obi-Wan never met, we never actually see him meet his Owen here. So he probably introduced himself to Owen. Oh no, he would have had to say it was Obi-Wan because Owen knew Obi-Wan. Yeah, I don't know. Again, that's another thing that doesn't really make sense. Because I would assume that he'd be like, hey, Anakin died. Vader might be looking for this kid. You gotta keep him safe.
Although that is one thing I've always disliked is that it's his last name, Anakin's last name should be like Anakin Star Killer, and then it's like Luke Skywalker or something like that, because it's like, hey, Anakin Skywalker never looked into his own planet, never looked into his stepbrother who he knows he has. He never.
Well, I mean, so that's part of it, right? They try to play the fact that he calls him Uncle Owen kind of makes it obvious. But I guess it's the one thing that the prequels kind of did right is that they made it obvious that Anakin hated Tatooine, especially after his mother died. He has no reason to ever want to go back here. Yeah. And he has no reason to ever suspect that two people he barely met would take in his son. He thinks his son, his children died with Padme. So...
Yeah. So, yeah. It's one of those things where... But like I said, it is kind of... I think that they should have changed his last name just because it is, Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker. Hey, Anakin never really looked into the home planet. I mean, I do get it. I do understand what you're saying, but still, it is kind of... Oh, and here... we see some of the first uses of special effects, which is literally that thing's on wheels. They just digitally remove the wheels. And here we see
originally he just put some jelly over the film to kind of blur out the wheels. And then during one of the many remasterings, they digitally removed it finally.
Yeah. Oh, and the poor
I watched the 90s remastered version a lot. Yeah. And it always starts off with the explanation of the original oh my god, effects. And then how he was able to fix them. Yeah. So that's how I know.
Yeah. Does need to be said, the Banthas, actual elephants, covered in rags in the desert. Those poor things.
Those poor elephants.
I know. I don't know if this movie has... I think this movie came out before they were no animal was harmed in the making of this movie. But yeah, like I said, actual elephants in the middle of the Tunisian desert covered in cat rags and shit. Holy shit, I feel bad for those elephants. Yeah, and here we see that Tusken Raiders are just the redneck hicks of the galaxy. Just, get off my lawn, you hick, you little bastard.
Tusken Raiders are obviously very territorial.
Yep.
Aren't they also nomadic? I don't actually know, but they're very territorial.
I actually don't remember. I do remember, because here's the thing. The backstory about Tusken Raiders has changed so much. When the original story came out, it was that they were nomadic. They would just, they live here, then they go over here, then they go, they just moved around a lot. Versus now, then when KOTOR came out, then it was they actually live here and they don't move unless they actually need to. Nowadays, I'm not actually sure what Disney has done with it. I think it's still they are mostly sit to where they are. And yeah, and Ben Kenobi coming in, that I don't like, because what he's supposed to be doing is making like the sound of a crate dragon to frighten them off. That was not a good call. It almost sounds like
that was like a weird bird call or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it doesn't sound frightening. It sounds like he stubbed his toe. I mean, even in the originals, it sounded like he stubbed his toe. Here we see Alec Guinness, you talk about the amazing actor. He was in everything. He's amazing. Like Lawrence of Arabia, love the guy. Awesome. But yeah. He does need to be said that in the production of this movie, especially when they're out in the desert, things were getting hectic, and it will almost look like the crew were gonna revolt against George Lucas just because it's just they're so miserable about shooting out in the flipping desert. And Alec Guinness, who worked on Lawrence of Arabia, so he's used to working in the desert, basically kept the crew together and inspired them to finish their shoot. Yeah, and it's like you never owned him, but you do recognize R2-D2. So yeah. I did talk about a great reaction there of, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah. Perfect reaction.
In 19 years, to be exact.
Mm-hmm. Which does need to be said. In 19 years, he goes from Ewan McGregor to Alec Guinness.
The desert is not kind to people.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah,
obviously, none of them use sunscreen.
Yeah. Yeah, because, Obi-Wan apparently did not age super well at all. I mean,
he actually doesn't look all that bad. He's just super gray now. But, it doesn't take long to go gray.
But yeah, no, Alec Guinness at the shooting of this role, he was not just 19 years older than
I know.
Ewan McGregor was. He was a lot older. I don't remember his actual age off the top of my head, but I think it was like 70s. Yeah, and here we see
Tokyo is taken apart. Not for the last time. Oh, he just lost an arm. He's fine.
Yeah, if you actually notice, is that they don't do a lot of shooting of like the actual arm, because what it is this lady just has his arm back like this, and they don't have the actual back of the C-3PO on it. Yeah.
I love how overly dramatic C-3PO is.
Yeah, overly. Although I do need to say, when they pick him up, I do remember as a kid, I thought it was like he was just a torso. I thought his legs were off too. But
I mean, they did pick him up rather easily. It kind of did seem like he didn't have legs.
So, just by the way it's cut and by just how easily they whoop. So, yeah. And here we see Jedi Knights were almost supposed to think like they're ninjas. It's like there are not many of them. It's very, mythical. Because I mean, Han Solo doesn't even think they exist when they
exactly.
So, but it turns out actually when Jedi were at the Prime, which apparently happened inside Han Solo's lifetime, they ruled the fucking galaxy. That's something I don't like. So yeah, I think that Jedi Knights should almost be like, they should be like Navy SEALs. There are not many of them, but they can kick your ass if you actually encounter them.
I mean, like when the galaxy is so large, to say that there are like 10,000 Jedi Knights, like it seems like a big number. But how many planets are in this galaxy? It may not have actually been as much as you think it is. It could have actually been pretty few. But you're right. In the prequels, they seem like they're so dominant in everything. They're on every planet. They're in the Clone Wars so much. And then you're like, how do people how do people not know they exist? Like, is it just because, I don't know. It seems weird too. Because at first, whenever I used to watch these movies, you're like, oh, it's Solo thinks it's just like a religion, and so you can kind of get how they don't believe it's real. And then you watch the prequels, and you're like, how?
Wait a minute, yeah.
They're everywhere. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, it's like they're so common that you can send them on a trade dispute, which, by the way, trade disputes happen all the freaking time here on Earth. I mean, technically we are in a trade dispute right now, not just with China, but with Vietnam. I'm saying technically, mind you. And the reason I say that is because Vietnam has jumped from like 17th trading partner with the United States to the 6th.
Oh.
Yeah, Vietnam is doing really well right now. But yeah. Yeah, here we actually see the actual message. Yeah. Yeah, here we talk about the Clone Wars, and that's something I do love that, like I mentioned when you were gone, is like this is a universe that has been lived in and there's history about it. So when they're talking about this is all information. It's like this is information that most people would recognize. I mean, it's like if I were to talk to you about the Revolutionary War, you might not know. I mean, well, heck, we did just talk about the Revolutionary War because you're getting a gift for someone. Which, by the way, you gotta tell me what you got the person. But anyway,
I will.
What's up? You're little.
I'll let you know later.
Here. Okay, fair enough. I'm a history nerd. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Which is, granted, that's kind of how I got into Star Wars. It's just this story. There's a history to the story. I want to know this. Because here's the thing. I generally don't care about, this happened because this happened. I care about what led up to this happening. Why did this happen? Yeah. And here we got the standard hero's journey of refusing the call, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it does need to be mentioned. I think they're actually shooting at a hotel that they just rented out, because I know some of the scenes shot in like these huts, they were actually in a hotel. I don't remember which ones were which. Just because you don't want to set this up in an actual sand. So hey, you just do it in a hotel. I think this was one of them. I don't remember.
Sure? Or do you have that backwards? Because I know some of this stuff, like there's sets that they built, but then they were turned into hotels when they left the sets because the buildings were still functional.
I could have it backwards. That is possible. Yeah, and here we see, if you actually look at all these admirals in the background, I think every single one of them was in the Clone Wars TV series. I mean, like the guy in white there, he was Admiral Wolf Yularen, who's like Anakin's right-hand man. And here we go. Peter Cushing played Tarkin. I love Peter Cushing. I mean, seriously, if there's a movie with Peter Cushing in it, I will watch it. I love Peter Cushing that much. Does need to be said, and I know this is a well-known fact, if you don't see his feet, he's wearing slippers, because when they first started shooting, either his boots were the wrong size or something would happen with the boots, but they just hurt his feet so much. So if you can't see his feet in a shot, it's because he's wearing slippers, because the boots hurt his feet so much, and they just purposely angle it up. Yeah, here we go. And I do know the actor playing this guy who gets choked, he has a huge sense of humor about this. He's done comedy tours and stuff where he's like, I'm the only guy to mouth off to Vader and live. So he has a huge sense of humor about it. I think the actor's still alive. I don't actually remember for certain though. Although it does remind me when the Xbox 360 had their Kinect coming out, they had a commercial of basically like this, where a little girl's like choking out the entire crew, and they actually hired the actor to be in that ad, and he's the only guy not getting choked, and he's laughing hysterically. I love it. Yeah. Like I said, he's the only guy to mouth off to Vader and live. Yeah. And here's the thing. What like I mentioned when we did the Disney remakes, what I don't like about Kylo Ren or General Hux is like they're so quick to raise their voice, and it's just they have no tension. There's nothing terrified about it.
Yeah.
In that little scene where we see Tarkin talking about how they're going to crush the rebellion, he commands more authority and is far more frightening than those guys just because he's so calm about it.
Yeah.
He has, yeah. And there's a part coming up later that I really want to put emphasis on. Just how, I mean, it is, because here's the thing, your dad screaming at you, that's terrifying, don't get me wrong, but it is a lot worse when he is very pissed off but just talking. Oh, that is the worst. And here we got mind you, I certainly understand this is what you would do if you found information that, like, they're gonna go kill your family, but realistically, what are you gonna do?
I guess try to get there first and warn them so they can leave.
Get there first. Be like, hey, get in the car. We're going. That'd be like me going up to my mom and dad's house. Hey, don't ask questions. Get in the car. We're going. Although here,
and you see there's skeletons.
Here's something that gets me. There's skeletons.
They show the skeletons.
Yeah, they show the skeletons.
It always creeps me out for some reason. I don't know why.
But the part that gets me,
close up of them, nice.
Yeah, we get close. Yeah, the part that gets me is the blasters don't make the people skeletons. What the fuck did the stormtroopers do to make skeletons out of them?
Well, they were trying to make it look like a sand.
Yeah, a sand.
So maybe they either stole weapons from them or use something they don't normally use to make it not look like stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Best guess. I'm gonna go with it. You're right. There's no reason why they'd be burned up skeletons.
That. Although we should point out these blaster points are far too precise. No way sand people can make these. And then for the rest of the movie, for the rest of the ever of Star Wars, the stormtroopers can't hit a goddamn thing. And here we got another point of where George Lucas did not have this planned out. Because Darth Vader is about to torture his own freaking daughter, and he doesn't piece together that she is his daughter.
He doesn't realize she's force sensitive? Yeah, I don't know. Because, in all the books and stuff, like, a bunch of things, like, people who are force sensitive, like, she's obviously about to experience fear. He'd be able to tell.
Yeah. Although this part here, look at C-3PO carrying what looks to be a Jawa body, and then just unceremoniously into the fire. Just unceremoniously throws it into the fire. It's like, you can treat. I mean, I know you don't like the things, but you can treat them with a little bit more dignity and respect than that, man. Come on. Yeah. And here it's like, okay, yeah. Well, I'm going with you because I got nothing left here.
Yep.
And here we actually see, because in the original series, it's like, oh, Mos Eisley. You actually don't see Mos Eisley. They just show the desert and you can't really tell that there's a settlement there.
Yeah, that was another thing on the 1997 VHSs is that when they first filmed all this, Lucas had it, like, envisioned it being like a bustling city and stuff. You can tell all this stuff was added in digitally. Because they just didn't have the technology to really do anything like that. Like, oh my God, you can tell how much they added digitally in this scene. This is wild.
Yeah. I mentioned that when you were, it's just, like the Ronto here.
Some of those buildings are definitely like, were not there originally. Yeah. Obviously, this Jawa and that thing wasn't.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of cool that, like, he was able to make his idea more complete. But obviously, some things were, like, annoying.
Yeah. No, like, the creature we see walking in front of the screen like that, most of the things I'm okay with, like, adding in post of, like, this, that, and the other thing. The one crossing in front of the screen like that one always bugs me because it's like, that one's too on the nose.
Yeah, it's like, it's blocking the entire scene. Yeah, it's like, you wouldn't have filmed that. Like... Yeah. That's a terrible shot. Yeah.
Although I do remember a joke of me and my friends have had for a long time is like, you'll never find a more wretched place of scum and villainy, just like Detroit. So yeah. And unfortunately, you cannot say that's untrue, unfortunately, with Detroit. Detroit was in the 50s was the most wealthiest city in the world. Not anymore. Yeah. So I do. Here we got something that I've talked to you about before. Is the Wars has this influence, has a strong influence of those who have a weak mind, And then we see that for the rest of the series, like Cad Bane even can be influenced by the Force, and Cad Bane does not have a weak freaking mind. So yeah. Although granted, it was technically two Jedi Masters and a Jedi Knight who got Cad Bane to say anything, but still. Oh, and here we got just any random suit from any monster movie ever, just in the background. Like there's a werewolf. I know there's a werewolf. I think we've got through past already. But yeah, because it's literally just because Paul Tibbett, who did the special effects of these movies, he owns his own studios, and that's what they made a lot of monster movies, and so they just had warehouses full of these things, and that's what all these costumes are. It's just yeah. So most of these costumes are not special made costumes of aliens. They are literally, and here we got first seeing Chewbacca, who, oh, by the way, I guess I take that back. I was about to say they should recognize each other, but I forgot that Obi-Wan doesn't meet him.
Yeah.
And here, why don't they allow droids in? That part always gets me. The only thing I can come up with is like maybe they have software that allows them to cheat, but it doesn't make any sense. Why don't you allow droids in there?
Maybe they just take up
like
space.
Then it's like
I don't know.
Yeah, well, like I said, my only thing is like maybe they were programmed to cheat the software or something, because we do see things that do look like blackjack tables in the background. So
yeah,
and yeah, again, just random monsters costumes, and yeah, and the Icthorian, which is one of my favorite alien species. I really wish we would see more of them. Yeah, and here we see Obi-Wan and Chewbacca talking, and there was actually a fan theory about that too. Of like after the prequels came out, where it was actually Yoda's plan for because he apparently knew Chewbacca pretty well. He actually made up this whole grand scheme of things. And here it's like this part always gets me because this guy doesn't really. I mean, yeah, he does grab Luke and throw him. But he is really realistically just talking smack until he decides, and then just cuts the guy's arm off. And here, causes blood the only time a lightsaber actually causes blood, ever. Otherwise, because if it were actually that hot, it would cauterize the wound. But I do love how everybody, apparently this happens all the time, because everybody's just like, yeah, whatever.
It's a CD bar when you cut someone's arm off and no one cares.
Yeah, and everybody, yeah. Which does adds up to the line of you'll never find a hive of a scrum ability. Yeah, because like I said, a guy got his arm cut off and died. No one cares. Yeah, and here. And yeah, I love the Bith music that we hear, and it is so. If there's ever a Star Wars game where they're in a cantina, that's the music they're playing, and I do love it. I really wish they would actually make some more music for them. Yeah, and here, the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, should have. It's like, how is it a fast ship in parsecs? I mean, mind you, in the action, they came up with the story. There's been 30,000 theories about it. In reality, it is just George didn't know what a parsec was. So.
Oh, obviously that's what it was. Yeah. But I like how in Solo they try to fix it anyway.
Yeah. So I will say Solo does a pretty good job of fixing it. I still prefer the original of it just being like a near black hole. So that's my preferred theory. But granted, that's just the theory I've always held about it. So I'm not 100% against Disney changing it like they did. So. And also Harrison Ford and Peter Mayhew playing Han Solo and Chewbacca respectively. Harrison Ford is the only actor whose career this movie propelled his career. Like Alec Guinness, he was a huge movie star going into this. So yeah, so his career didn't take off. Peter Cushing again was a huge movie star before this. Harrison Ford is the only actor whose career really propelled. I mean, Mark Hamill, I mean, he's done a terrific work as a voice actor, but he didn't really have a good acting career. Although he's been in a lot of good movies like Big Red 1. What was that? I forget
but like, how much of that is their choice versus like maybe they didn't want to do movies anymore? I don't actually know, because like it is kind of weird how this movie's so big and none of them really like did much afterwards.
Yeah.
But Mark Hamill is really famous as a voice actor, so.
No, well, I know what happened with Mark Hamill. He did Star Wars, but then he just did a bunch of shit movies, one after the other. And that's why, that's something that we're gonna when we get to Return of the Jedi. When we get to Return of the Jedi, Harrison Ford obviously phoning it in. Carrie Fisher is coked out of her mind most of the movie, and Mark Hamill's getting in his all, and that's because at this point he thought it was good. He thought he was never going to work again. Because, like I said, he should really. I hope he fired his agent because his agent just did a horrible job of just shit movie after shit movie after shit movie. That's why he became a voice actor. Carrie Fisher, I don't know what her acting career would have been like. Because she unfortunately just got addicted to coke. She got very addicted to cocaine, which reminds me of a story. I don't remember where it was, but I was in an auditorium listening to his speech. Oh, I should mention.
Did they shoot at the same time there?
Yeah. I don't like that. Mind you, everybody knows the original. Han shoots first, and Greedo actually never shoots.
Yeah, I was going to say in the original, it's not that Han shot first, it's that he's the only one that does shoot.
Yeah. Well, in the original, you just hear bang, and the body falls over. But it does need to be said. I do know that when the movie came out, there was a huge, when that happened, there was a huge round of applause, blah blah. Yeah, everybody's cheering, and then it all died down just long enough for him to say sorry about the mess and toss the coin like $1. Toss like a coin at the guy, and then it's just a huge laughter. Yeah, but I remember I was listening to a speech by a guy who was basically Carrie Fisher's limo driver, and what he said would happen is he would drive to the hotel. He had a key to her hotel room, would go into her hotel room, and she's passed out. He would pick her up, bring her down to the limo, drive her to the set, and she would usually come to like in the makeup chair. And yeah. So yeah, I do know Carrie Fisher. That's why her career never took off, because she just got addicted to coke. And mind you, she makes fun of that. She made fun of that relentlessly when she did her own specials. Yeah. Yeah. And here we see the plan to pay them off is to sell the speeder thing, which, mind you, we don't actually know how much they got for it, but still. The guy in the background there, I'm wondering if these people, oh God, I forgot their.
Oh, this added scene?
Oh, dear. I forgot about this scene. And it's the only scene I really think is just, you shouldn't have even bothered. Mind you, when they shot this scene, because this was actually shot in 1977, in the original, Jabba was actually a big Scottish guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember watching, yeah.
Yeah, which I kind of wish they had kept, just because that would have been awesome. But yeah, and here we got one of
really awkward when Han walks behind him.
Yeah, that part always gets me. It's like, dude, he just stepped on your tail. But
I like the face they made. Wait, watch his face. I love it.
Yeah. But like I said, he was like, you think he'd be like, hey, you don't step on my tail. We are not that close. You think he'd be shot. But
yeah, but like you said, when they filmed this in 1977, they didn't know, they had different ideas of what Jabba was going to be at the time, and you got to work with what you have.
Yeah. Yeah, there. You're a wonderful human being. And he's not human.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, look, but it's Bob. Oh my God, it's Boba Fett.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be the first time you see Boba Fett.
Which I don't like.
Got cut originally, but it was Boba Fett.
Well, mind you, when this movie originally came out, Boba Fett was not there.
I know.
The reason that
the first time you see, but that's why when like the Christmas special came out, they had Boba Fett was in it because he was originally planned for this movie until they cut that scene.
Yeah. No, Boba Fett was originally but not just that scene. He was actually supposed to be actually in the movie for a bit. I don't remember exactly what he was supposed to do. If I remember correctly, I think he was supposed to track them to Yavin 4, but I could be mistaken. But I do know he was originally in the actual script.
Yeah.
Like, I've actually read the original script for this movie and the other original movies and the other two movies. So yeah. Yeah, and here we got their informant who he's over here.
The informant just hit himself in the nose.
Yeah. Yeah. Although here, how can you guys not hit us? Mind you, I do understand it is just one guy, but still, how do you not? I kind of wish
he's got great coverage.
Yeah, what I kind of wish it was is like the ship was angled more like this, where the door coming is here, because that way it'd be like, oh, he's actually covered. Good luck shooting him. Yeah. Whee! Yeah. Yeah. An Imperial cruiser must be hotter than I thought. Yeah. And it's like, while I make these calculations to jump flight speed, don't you have a droid in the system that does that for you? Or, although it doesn't even said, he said a Imperial cruiser, but there are actually two. But yeah, there they kind of like two more coming in. Yeah, I do love that line of watch your mouth, kid, or you find yourself floating home. Do love that line. Although, yeah, that does need to be said. It's like, I know a few maneuvers will lose them, and then he just goes straight.
Yeah, go straight is a great maneuver.
Yeah. I mean, Family Guy says it's like, oh, you're listening. No, they don't even list to the left. They continue going straight. Yeah, and here it's like, backseat drivers. I hate that. Yeah, I mean, this is a backseat driver who doesn't know how to drive. Whee! Yeah, and there was a big cheer. I know there was a big cheer in the original movie of that ship flying off in the distance, even though it's probably the simplest shot in the movie. It's just a retreating model next to a rotating field, which is super easy to make. Yeah. Yeah, and apparently they have a history. I want a book. There may be a book, but I really want a book of like these two, just interacting with each other. Yeah. But yeah, you hear the authority he commands in this scene right here. He's terrifying. Carrie Fisher doesn't really sell that. Carrie Fisher's mouthing off to him, but the part coming up here where she's like, "Oh God." Yeah. Yeah, and there it's like you're supposed to be pretending that you're not a rebel spy, but you just kind of everything you're saying is like, yeah, I'm a rebel. Yeah. And I still think they should say Naboo here. I really think they should have made, instead of the original movie being all Naboo, I think it should have been Alderaan, just so we care. Yeah. Here. This is terrifying. He doesn't raise his voice. It's just, tell me what I want to know, or I blow up the planet. That's freaking terrifying.
He also gets like really in her face. Like she is sandwiched between two very tall men there.
Yeah. Well, actually, Tarkin's not that tall. I think he was like on a step or something, but yeah.
Well, that and she's just like Carrie Fisher's not tall either. She's short.
Well, Carrie Fisher is pretty dang short. It was pretty dang short.
Like she doesn't even come up to Prowse's shoulders there. Like she is short.
Yeah, and mind you, Prowse, although he's buff, he's not super tall. He is tall. I don't want to make it sound like he's a short guy because he's certainly not. But I'm 6'2". David Prowse was only like 6'4", so I'm not too much shorter than him. So yeah, and here, Luke practicing with the little robot, and yeah, it's like, oh God, you actually feel like he feels that the planet got blown up. It's like I don't know how you. Oh man, what would that be like? Just hearing like millions of voices cry out in terror, and then just all of a sudden silence.
It would probably sound like a cloud of thunder, like randomly stopping or something. You know?
Yeah.
Like you start to hear a loud noise, and then all of a sudden it's just.
Yeah. Which that does remind me. I do love this right here. R2 beats the Wookiee, and then he gets pissed off, and then it's like, yeah, it's a fair move. You can't scream about it, but yeah, no, droids don't rip people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Yeah,
that's also what I like about Solo is when they showed Chewbacca doing that.
But I do love just the I'm awesome. Back to your training. Yeah, this is why another thing that we should have mentioned is Harrison Ford comes in is like, yeah, I lost him, guys, and then they're just like, okay, don't all thank you at once. He just met with dead silence. Ouch. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Hokie looks the same way. He doesn't believe in the Jedi. This part here. You don't believe in the Force, do you? You mean that thing you just found out about literally 30 hours ago? Yeah, of course I don't believe in it. Seriously, that would be like, hey, Brie, how do you not know about this thing? Yeah. And I know plenty of people who are like that. Although I should mention, as a lot of people know, I do write a lot of like stupid, especially in high school, I wrote a lot of stupid, theories about stuff. I remember there was one character I made who grew up in she grew up in constant noise. So where she actually experiences like true silence where she doesn't hear anything, she basically goes crazy just because it's like, so yeah, that's something that always gets me. I'm sorry. I just thought about that one because like as if millions of us cried out in terror and then some in silence. It just reminded me of writing that character of just constantly hearing noise, and automatically hears nothing, just snaps and freaks the fuck out. Yeah, and here, you're good against a droid. Good luck doing that against a real person. Coming up on Alderaan. Apparently, Tatooine and Alderaan are not super far from each other.
I mean, that would explain why Leia then was kind of close to Tatooine.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't. Yeah. 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 And here's another scene of like, okay, yeah, here we can actually see him wearing boots. He's actually wearing boots here, but yeah. Here, he's pissed off, but he doesn't raise his voice. He's just, okay, do it, kill her.
Yep.
Although this part here, automatically into the rubble. Yeah.
Man, Obi-Wan has flown to a planet that maps said shouldn't be there, and now he's flown to the middle of nothing where maps say a planet should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I do love he knows about it. He knows what it is long before they do. Yeah. And I do love how they're automatically like, okay. Yeah. I do like here, it's just a short range fighter. Just let it go and turn around. Yeah, but they're all, I do love the explanation of, okay, this is a short range fighter. How is it out here on its own?
That's no move.
Although it does need to be said, thank you. Too big to be a space station. And then, oh, but it actually is. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
this isn't good.
Yeah, too late. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're in a tractor beam pulling it in, yeah. I do love that. It's like they're not gonna get me with a fight as he stops fighting. And then Obi-Wan's like, yeah, we're not gonna win in a straight up fight, so we're gonna hide. Because that's what you realistically do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, how are you gonna take on a station full of that many people? Yeah, clear bay 327. Yeah, do you think they would have a bay just specifically, already empty for shit like this? Oh, the two stormtroopers there standing by the gun. Really? I mean, don't get me wrong. They are in spacesuits, so it does make sense. But still, it's just kind of like, why are they staying on the outside of the ship? Yeah, and the mouse droid, which is just obviously just an RC car. Yeah. Yeah, here. This is the only reason that Leia lives, because like, yeah, wait, hold on. You might be used to us. We got the ship.
It's a little weird that she gets captured and she's like, take these home. Even though if she's getting captured, they know where her home planet is.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to look there sooner rather than later. Why would you send the plans there?
Yeah. Yeah, and here, yeah. This is actually pretty much standard procedure of like, okay, you find an abandoned boat in the middle of nowhere, tear that ship up and tear that ship apart, up and down. I want everything checked. Although the part that gets me is like they apparently walk right. Oh yeah, in the originals they don't actually say anything. They just walk. They just meet each other and then just turn around and walk. But here's the thing: he walked over that. You think he would realize he walked over something hollow just because you would think it would make a noise.
Yeah, it would make a different sound.
Yeah. So
unless they're all hollow, like everything's hollow, and that's why it doesn't make a different sound. And it's just that those two are more removable than the rest.
Yeah. And then, he actually reaches and pets Chewie. Yeah.
Because it could just be they could just think it's a crawl space under the entire walkway to get the wiring and stuff.
That is possible.
Because that's how a lot of offices are set up.
Fair enough.
We'll go with it. We know they weren't actually thinking that far into it.
Yeah, well, of course. The part that gets me is like, you two were ordered to guard here. Yeah. I've always been curious, like, what do they think happened? Did they, drop the thing, they need help, or what? It just doesn't make sense. And then, they're dead. Yeah. Well, this part gets me here. So apparently they know a sign of what a bad transceiver, maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's just the general is not working.
Yeah, just dude, I can't hear you, but yeah, I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah,
I mean, if I were to do this, you know what I mean, what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So,
despite the fact that this is what a phone looks like anymore.
Well, yeah, you ask kids do it now, they do this. It's like, dude, it bugs me to no end. But yeah, I mean phones no longer look like this. Now they are literally just little triangles or rectangles.
I guess kids wouldn't pretend a banana was a phone anymore, huh?
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a little disappointing, actually. No more banana phone.
Although something that always gets me, apparently R2D2 can just plug into the system and automatically just be able to reveal all the system secrets. So apparently the Empire has very shitty encryption methods. If R2D2 can just get everything like that.
Well, I mean, so like here's the thing. Like, I mean, okay, yeah, because it would be a two-parter, right? Like, if you steal my work computer, unless you can plug it into the network, you're not going to get anything about my thing. But if you take any old laptop to my work and plug it into the network, you're still not going to get anything. Although you would be able to map to it. Actually, no, you probably couldn't unless you had like an actual company like laptop that gave the okay. So yeah, that's a little weird that just anyone can go in with any computer program and be like, hi.
But yeah, no, but the thing is, like, you have one of these, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
How do you open this up? Does it because you have to enter a code to actually get, or I mean, mine has a finger like you can see right there where it just reads my finger and then it opens up. So yeah, but yeah, all laptops nowadays have a, like, okay, you actually have to enter a password. R2D2 apparently just knows them all and just like, oh, don't worry, I got it.
I like to pretend that R2D2 just like knows how to automatically just or really fast, break passwords. Maybe their password is password.
God, I hope not.
The Imperials rule.
No. That reminds me of. I know this story happened.
Spaceballs.
I don't know if I should say it because it's kind of I didn't do this personally. Okay. Full disclosure, I did not do this personally. I just know it happened. But in when I was in high school, there was we all had our computer passwords to make computer projects or whatever, blah blah. One girl had her password as literally her first name. Well, someone I know, I'm not going to name names, also told me about it, and literally, he got in her profile, and apparently he ended up changing a bunch of her homework assignments.
Oh.
I was not part of this. I had nothing to do with it, but I do know that she did have a few, like, where she actually talked to the teachers, like, someone hacked because I remember we actually went to like an actual meeting of like, we actually went to a meeting like as a school assembly, like, you're not allowed to get into other students' profiles. So I know it happened, but yeah, like I said, I do not condone of that. I do not condone of what actually of him doing that. But I do know who did it. And I do know it actually happened, but it's like, dude, you did.
So yeah,
here we got the funny.
Everybody just has really crappy security on their computer systems.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe in 1977, people probably weren't actually concerned with computer. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's obviously the thing. I mean, granted, you could. Marie, we lost you again. Granted, though, you could make the argument of that. The Empire don't exactly expect anybody to be, boarding their space station. And I'm trying to get Marie back on. Hold on. Although what I do like here, this part coming up, is you see another guy try to get on, and then he's like, "Well, dude, hold on, we got a thing here. You don't want to come on here." And he just moves on to the next one. So I do love that. I do love that little scene of just someone dropped. Hold on, I think I'm still online. Hold on, let me check. Yeah, okay, it is Marie. So hold on, we're trying to get it back. Yeah, here. This part gets me. It's like, how did they not notice this beforehand? How did they? Yeah, but yeah, I do appreciate it. Yeah, this part here. Yeah. Where are you taking this thing? Apparently, Wookiees are not well known about. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to imagine what would happen, just the amount of shit that would happen if, like, oh yeah. That part that gets me is like Han and Anakin are supposed to be acting like, oh god, he got loose. So that you would think what actually happened is like he should actually like rip one of the guns out of like he should like rip the gun out of hands. I don't mean to sound funny, but you get what I mean. Is like he should just take the gun and then act like he knocks it apart. But what it actually looks like is here's the gun. Oh no. Yeah, and then you see them also shooting out all the cameras and recording devices, which, by the way, yeah. Okay. I'm And here we got Han Solo just like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? Just completely winging it off the top of his head, which I do not remember. Like I said, I've read the original script. I don't remember if that was actually scripted or if he was just literally just winging it. I think he was just winging it of like, what's that? No, you can't come up here because of this. I don't remember for certain. I think he was just winging it, but like I said, it's been so long I haven't read the script, so couldn't tell you. And here, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper? He looks about the same height as all the other stormtroopers. So that always does kind of bug me because he doesn't look that much shorter than other stormtroopers. I'm here with Ben Kenobi. Wait, you mean Obi-Wan Kenobi? Here. Oh, wait, here we go. Maybe. Marie, if you're there, you still got blue screen, unfortunately. Come on. Technology. Yeah. Marie, if you're here, I still see just blue screen. It says you're here, but you just got the blue screen, so I don't know. Unfortunate. Yep. If you'd like it back in your cell, Your Highness. I do love that line. Although it is like, stop mouthing off to each other and pay attention. That is one thing that always kind of bugs me. It's like you're in a life and death situation. Stop with the bickering and pay attention. Like another movie we have to do is The Sand, where it's a prime example of that. We're in a life and death situation. Let's pause and talk about a relationship drama. No, you're in a life and death situation. Let's figure out a way out of this and then figure out what the hell we're doing about a relationship. Although, mind you, I will say I do, the stormtroopers not being able to hit him here, good luck. They are behind cover. Good luck being able to shoot him like that. Although, yeah, this part, what the hell are you doing? You almost shot me. Although her jumping across like that, not realistic, because you'd actually be like, okay, if you actually do that, it's okay, open fire like crazy. Even if you're not hitting anybody, just make sure they can't see what you're doing. It's called covering fire. Because a lot of times, because you got to remember, in most war, in battle, not like 99% of the rounds don't hit anybody or don't kill anybody. Most rounds fired miss. And it's not because people are shooting to miss. It's just because a lot of it is, hey, I'm in a cover, but I need to go over there. So what I'm going to do is just start randomly firing so that they have to duck. They have to put their heads down so I can get over there. Yeah, the garbage chute. Here, it's like, you had no other option. What were you going to do? Keep shooting there until everybody else died? Although this part here, we see the blaster bolt flying around for a good 10 seconds. I already tried it. When did you try it? You didn't have time for it to be ducking the blaster like that already. Yeah, you had everything under control until you landed down here. What was under control about that situation? You were not getting out of that situation. It's worse, yep. Though this part always gets me too, is there's something alive in here. Oh, it's your imagination. You just said it's worse. Although apparently, I'm very curious how they're managing to stand where they are, if apparently there's nothing holding them up except water. Because Luke will get, you'll see in a second. Yeah, the eyeball thing. I forgot about that. Really kind of cool. Really, I do love this special effect. Yeah, Luke gets sucked down into it, but apparently they're just in knee-deep water. How did he get sucked down in where? What? So that part always gets me. It's what are they standing on that's floating? Yeah, in here, it's Han, shoot it. Yeah, just shoot it. Yeah, just keep, it's just keep shooting. Mind you, not here because you don't want to hit Luke. But yeah, when Luke popped up like that, you should just be blasting hysterically at anywhere that's not him. Although it does kind of raise the question of how far can the lasers penetrate into water? That's something what we don't know. Do they with an actual gun? Bullets stop pretty quickly if you shoot them into water, and the higher the caliber, the faster they break. Like a 9mm, they can only go 3 feet or 9 feet. They don't go very far. But a 50 caliber bullet that explodes on impact just because it's got so much more energy and hits the water at such a higher velocity. So, and it's like that old saying goes: if you fall from a plane and then land in water, you might as well land on concrete. So yeah. And the garbage, they're in a garbage compactor and they're compacting the garbage. I'm trying again. I really hate it when I have no one to beat this off of. So yeah, I do like how they're okay. Actually, we got to do something to break it. Okay, so we have this pole. Hopefully that does it. But yeah, good luck. Trash compactors are freaking tough in the modern world. Although hey, welcome back. You need to get a new internet provider.
Nah, I think I needed to restart my computer as well, but I was having internet troubles earlier.
So, fair enough. Although, granted, that's a conversation I've had with my internet provider many times of hey, I play video games a lot. Why do you keep dropping my service to shitty levels? I've called them multiple times about that shit. They got pretty sick of me pretty quick, so.
Now it's the internet.
Okay.
Because when it starts messing with the TV, it's the internet.
Yeah.
Man, I missed all my favorite parts.
You want to rewind?
Liz badass. They free her, and then she's like, "Now I gotta save your butts because you're the worst person I've ever met."
You want to rewind? We can rewind.
No, it's all right. Here, when the wall started to close in, she's instead of standing there screaming
she's the one that
she's like, grab something and try to brace it. Let's do something.
Yeah. Yeah, though here it's R2 is see if they've been captured. You have a comm link. You picked up the comm link. And it's already showed that the comm link is actually, spouting noise. Why haven't you checked the comm link yet? Yeah, here. Yeah. Yeah. Use the comm link. Yeah, you are an idiot.
But at least he addresses, I forgot I had that.
Yeah. In the subtitles it said, I turned it off. Why would you turn it off?
Because he was about to be captured by people. It's completely understandable why he shut it off.
Well, he dropped it, though, and it was still on because it was making noise when it was laying on the floor. If they had a scene of him turning it off, okay, maybe that would make more sense. Oh, but yeah, it stops right before, talk about Hollywood cliche. Although I do love this part here of like, oh crap, I fucked up and they're dying. Yeah, it's like, yeah, don't worry, we're fine. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you didn't kill us. And I also do love like Obi-Wan being able to sneak through the ship here, because that's very much from like the old spy movies. Although this part here does get me, because to turn off the tractor beam, he has to go over a friggin' giant bottomless pit. This is very inefficient design.
I was gonna say, we talked about this in the other Star Wars movies. Yeah. Like, OSHA would nix this design so quickly. Like, where are the handrails? Where are the barriers? He should be tied off on something. That is more than a 4-foot drop. Like, who designed this thing?
Yeah, why would you put important shit here? It just, that part always gets me. It's like, I mean,
I like how she's sticking her hair there. I also like how the definition is so good these days. You can tell how badly her hair, like the buns, do not match her natural hair color. It is so obvious.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. Well, I mean, right here, they're not. Here you can tell they're not even like connected to her actual hair. It's like you can tell. Oh man. Although it does also need to be said that a lot of times she was actually taped down because George Lucas told her there was no underwear in space. Yeah, Carrie Fisher was not paid enough for her role in this movie.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's another drill. Although, why are they being tasked to guard here? That doesn't make any sense.
Because this is where the tractor beam is.
About, like, yeah. But again, it's like, why wouldn't they have the tractor beam on the side of the actual bridge so you don't have to crawl out in the middle of nowhere like that? God, I'm afraid of heights. So if you were to say, hey, go turn off the tractor beam, no way. I'm afraid of heights. Screw you. Now, mind you, it should be said because they're like, oh, because like they're in the main hangar. How are they not being seen? They're just 2 droids. The Empire has thousands of droids. They probably, the Empire is probably seen this like, oh, they're just 2 droids. Don't worry about it. Who cares? Yeah. I mean, because like if you're just driving by and you see a police officer, you don't know if that's like a guy pretending to be a police officer or an actual police officer. Oh, here's a change I do like. Because in the original, it's just those 4 guys turn around. But in this, it's like he runs into an actual, like, it runs into the actual hangar.
Yeah.
So, no, but like in the original series, it's like, it's just 4 guys running from 1 guy. What? It doesn't make any sense. And again, they can't hit worth anything. Luke was not even looking at you, and you didn't even hit him. Yeah. Oh, talk about poor time. Yeah, find the controls to extend the bridge. I blew him up. Yeah.
Wait, I have a grappling hook because I'm Batman?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, and they're being shot at from another level, I guess. I don't know. Although, why the Empire has all these giant open chasms in their space station, I'm not really sure of. Yeah, here, you do this.
She's probably better aiming than him anyway.
Yeah, no doubt. Although it does need to be said, there are so many memes of like her face when she's shooting the gun. Yeah. Which, mind you, I'm actually very curious. Like, here's something. When the door opens up like that, if you're a stormtrooper on the other side, why don't you just put your gun through that little hole and start shooting? Yeah, and then kiss on the lips for luck. Although, here, doing that across, possible, it would work, but it would hurt like hell. Because he's not actually, in a harness for that. He's just got it on his belt. Well,
yeah,
obviously, when they shot it. Yeah, obviously when they actually shot it, there was actually on hardest. But if you're actually doing that from your belt, holy shit, that would be hurt. Yeah. You have a comm link. Why don't you ask him? Yeah, oh, here. Close the blast door. Close the blast door. And then jump through. Over the blast door. Over the blast door. Yeah, there were, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't think about how slow that blast door closes, did they?
Yeah, no doubt. Although here we got our first actual lightsaber fight. It should oh man, this is a great moment. But yeah, great scene. But I should mention that what you actually see, like the fighting style they actually use is like it's actually a fighting style between what you real masters would use because not every move is a haymaker. More of it's like kind of go over here. Although you wouldn't actually see that spin, but I mean that's why in theory they're making the fight, but in reality it's because the actual device they were using for lightsabers were so super fragile they would break if you hit them too hard. Because in the original when they actually shot this, the lightsabers were basically a glass tube with something spinning inside it, and that's how they got the effects. But in all the later movies, they just use actual like carbon fiber rods to actually hit, just because they're actually durable. Because what would happen is if these broke, they just spark out like crazy. So yeah, but yeah. Yeah, like I said, the original lightsaber thing was actually a device. It was like a glass tube and something spinning inside it. And yeah, it broke so easily. Although yeah, again, that is pretty much how masters would fight with swords. Of like, you wouldn't see masters doing like these haymaker type.
Yeah, it wouldn't be flashy at all. It would be very effective. It'd be very like you're not going to do movements you don't need.
Yeah. And you can see every move they're doing here is very much just I don't need to bring my lightsaber all the way out here to attack you. I just need to use my wrist, and that's what they're doing.
Right.
So mind you, that's the story reason about why they're doing it like that. But in reality, it's just like I said, the devices are so dang fragile. Yeah, and then all the stormtroopers see this fight, and apparently, they're supposed to be doing shit, but nope, we gotta go make sure because this is awesome. This is far more interesting than what we're looking at. Yeah, and here, yeah, and sacrificing himself, death of the master again, classic. Although, yeah, and again, stormtroopers can't hit anything.
Luke, it's like, standing out in the middle. What are you doing?
The only thing I'm willing to grant is that we see in the second here. Hold on, is that you hear Ben say, "Run, Luke, run." So my theory, quote, is that Obi-Wan is basically like protecting him, making the stormtroopers miss. That's my 2 cents. Obviously, we have no way of knowing that, but still. Yeah, I sure hope we got the. Yeah, and then we. Although you would think they realize, the tractor beam's off. Can you turn it back on? Okay, sure, click. Yeah. Oh, this part here. Yeah. I can't believe he's. Yeah. This way. Although, if you actually look at R2-D2's head scene here, it actually moves a little bit. Because, like I said, Kenny Baker's in an actual trash can, and it gets pretty hot in there. And he got during one of the shots, he accidentally just shifted around, and the move you can actually see it move. Or in the original, I know you could. I don't know if you actually see it here. Although this right here, it's like I can't believe he's gone. You've known him for only a day.
Yeah, it sounds like Leia may have. Well, she wouldn't have known him either, but her dad did. That's true too.
Yeah, but Leia would be like, "Hey, my home planet blew up. Shove it."
Right. Like, how is she still functioning? Her entire family and everyone she's ever known was on that planet.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, mind you, my 2 cents of how is she still functioning? How the heck is this targeting system make any sense? I have no idea. But it does need to be said in the Disney trilogy, we only ever see him using 2 guns. But there are 2. We only ever see Disney using 1, but there are 2. So, but as for your question of how the heck is Leia still functioning, my 2 cents. Adrenaline's running. She knows, it's like I need to pay attention right now, or we could die. So that's my 2 cents. Oh, this right here. It's like, don't worry, she'll hold together. And then, oh crap, baby, go in here. Thank God R2D2 is apparently a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's just so useful to have around. I need one of those in my kitchen. Do they make R2D2 painted fire extinguishers? Because those would be great.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'd buy that for my kitchen.
Although, something that does need to be said, they escaped from the Death Star, but they only sent out 4 fighters when they're in a space station that apparently has thousands.
Hey, look, there's 2 ports to shoot from. If only they were both still useful in episode 7.
No doubt. Well, I mean, a lot. If you actually look at the ship design, it almost looks like a lot of the. It's like you can almost like the Family Guy joke of like open up a window and start shooting randomly. You could almost do that from what everyone actually wants. Yeah. Obviously, you wouldn't actually want to do that because you get sucked in the vacuum of space pretty quickly. Although it does need to be said, that giant fireball, no way a TIE fighter would because in the TIE fighters, they're actually like there's a reason that these people are wearing their suits like that because there's no atmosphere in the TIE fighter. So there's no thing that would cause an explosion like that.
No.
But here we see why they actually only sent out 4 fighters. It's like there's a tracking beacon aboard their ship. Yeah. So obviously it's like, okay, we're pretending we want to catch you, but we actually don't. Although the part that really bugs me is Leia knows they're being tracked. Why don't you beam the plans to your base and have him go somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
She also told them to bring the plans to Alderaan, her home planet, despite the fact she was being captured, as if they wouldn't look there first.
Yeah, no doubt. And so it is very much of like, hey, how about what you should do is like you should go to Coruscant and make it a big deal about, hey, they're trying to kill me, and then like send your droid, like, and put your droid to an escape pod or something, and shoot them out towards Yavin.
That would make the most sense. Is to go to Coruscant and try to like
get a whole
chill.
Yeah, make a big freaking stink about, hey, they're trying to kill me, because you got to remember she's a princess. She is popular. She's well known. So you have to
go to Coruscant and be like, hey, they just blew up my freaking planet.
Yeah, bingo.
Although, to be fair, if she were to go to Coruscant, Emperor Palpatine would just probably confiscate her right away.
That's not a good idea. On sight upon approaching.
Don't do that.
Yeah. So, but it's like, but what she should be doing is, like I said, she should like go to a planet. I mean, maybe not Coruscant, but she should go to what's that? Corellia or something. Like Corellia is known for being like a rebel, like haven. So go to Corellia, go there and be like, and then get a hold of them, like the media or something, and be like, hey, they're trying to kill me. They just did this. The rebellion numbers would shoot up.
That's not going to work because most media is probably controlled by the Emperor. Like, no one's going to believe anything.
Well, you could go to the Corellian.
It'd be like the Harry Potter situation. Oh, you don't know Harry Potter, yeah. Because that's basically what Harry Potter tries to do in the 5th book/movie, and no one believes him because the government is being controlled by Voldemort by that time. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Okay. Hey, I've never read the books. I'm not gonna read the books, so you know what? It works for me, and I don't care about spoilers. So, but still, it's like what you should do. Like I said, go to Corellia. Even if all you can do is get a hold of the king of that planet, or the president or whatever.
But they have a Death Star. The Death Star would just blow up Corellia then. Like, that is the whole point of the Death Star, is to just blow up planets that won't fall in line.
Well, then, but here's the thing. What you do is you go to Corellia, then you get on another ship, go to another planet, and just planet hop. And if all
they would go after you, as soon as they found where you were, they would go there and blow that planet up.
Here's the thing. But you're always going to be a step ahead of them. So they're going to go to that planet, blow that planet up.
Planets would stop letting you stay there, is what I'm saying. They'd be like, no, get away from us. Wherever you go, the planets get blown up.
How would they know, though? How would they know?
It would get out eventually.
Leia's dead. Everybody will eventually. How? But everybody thinks Leia's dead at this point. So if she were to go to a planet, that planet's going to raise a stink. And if the Death Star goes to blow up that planet, sooner or later, all the planets are going to be like, so what the hell is going on with all these planets randomly exploding?
The Death Star would be like, yeah, I'm blowing them up, and if you don't obey, I'll blow your planet up too.
That doesn't. Well, that what actually happened. What happens when they blow up Alderaan is that what actually happened there is you blow up my home planet. Screw you! I'm gonna fight back.
Not everyone has that mentality, though. A lot of people would be like, "Oh shit, fine, I'll do what you say."
Yeah, that's true, but historically, shit like that has happened. Like when the Nazis occupied France in the American Revolution and the French Revolution, and is that if you start tightening down your power like this, more people fight back.
And that's what Leia was telling Tarkin whenever he was threatening to blow up her planet, and then he blew up the planet.
But like I said, even if you
when we dropped the atomic bomb on Japan, did Japan suddenly fight back? No, they stopped. They ended the war.
Hold on. Japan stopped fighting back not because they wanted to stop fighting back, because when we dropped the atomic bomb, the Emperor of Japan was having meetings with his generals about how he shouldn't actually surrender. The only reason he surrendered, and when he was going to sign the surrender, there was a coup attempt to keep him from signing it. The only reason the Japanese people stopped fighting is because the Japanese people viewed the emperor as a god. So when God says we're surrendering, that's a huge deal, and that's why General MacArthur made sure there was a picture of him and Emperor Hirohito, because General MacArthur was huge compared to Emperor Hirohito. And he made sure that was printed in all the Japanese newspapers because that was culturally, a huge shock to them.
So we dropped 2 bombs on them, and the Emperor said stop fighting. So that's what they're literally trying to do here in Star Wars, is blowing up planets, dropping bombs to get the rebels to stop fighting.
But again, the actual Japanese military wanted to keep fighting. The only reason they stopped is because, like I said, the majority of the citizens viewed the Emperor as a god.
When there's a lot of times when if authority tells you not to do something, the majority of the people will follow. It's not everyone's going to start rebelling. How do you fight? The other fear would be if they have one of these things, what if they have more? This thing's got a lot of firepower. It's like introducing a tank when everybody else only has like guns and horses.
So basically when Italy invaded Libya.
Like that is the point of the Death Star. It is the superior technological weapon.
Yeah. This scene was apparently actually in the original, but it was cut down. It was in the actual version, but was cut for some stupid reason. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it is, but I really think it should be in there. Just because it is cool to see, hey, Luke has friends.
His friend doesn't make it, but yeah, he has friends.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Yeah. Although, the part that gets me is, how is it Luke is getting in an X-Wing and not a Y-Wing? Because Y-Wings are the crappy old fighters, but they're putting this brand new kid into a brand new fighter? What? Mind you, you could certainly make the argument it's the only thing they had, and Y-Wings are bombers, and you don't have bomber pilots fighting fighters. So, yeah. So you could make that argument. Although one thing that kind of bugs me is how are these ships are just kind of stacked together. There's no rhyme or reason to how they're parked.
Yeah.
They're just all kind of parked randomly. That bugs the shit out of me. Because I know I've said multiple times before. I'm fascinated by like how aircraft carriers function, because on aircraft carriers they have to put these fighters very tightly together. So there's a very concise system about how they park. But here it's just they're parked wherever. I mean, granted, if you had space to do it, fine, whatever. Yeah, and here, Obi-Wan, yeah, Luke, use the Force. Well, it doesn't say it, but yeah, you trust the Force. Although I do like this part here, because in the original, I'm pretty sure in the actual original, you just see like these lights fleeing into the distance. I like there how you actually see the fighters taking off. Yeah, although part of this is like the Death Star will be in range in 15 minutes. Shouldn't you all be like packing up everything that's not nailed down and getting off?
Yes.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, he's like, seriously, pack up everything that's not nailed down and get out of there. Get on your ship and run.
Like, that should really be the plan B, or that should really be plan A. Plan B is try to blow it up. The rest of us are getting out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you still send out a fighter wing, if only to slow them down. But yeah, but still, it's like what would actually happen, and what you'd actually do is be like, okay, instead of actually having a rebel planet where we are coordinating, you'd actually just get on a capital ship and use that to coordinate and just run around. That way, they can't pin you down. Although I do need to say, have you ever heard of a movie called Dam Busters?
No.
Well, then you wouldn't know the exact battle. Well, in the battle that happens at the end of that movie, it is pretty much the exact same battle as you see here. So even though you've never seen the movie, you've seen the... I mean, granted, George Lucas does make it very clear that was his inspiration. That did inspire a lot of this. But like here, it's like, I'm going to cry across their axis to try to draw their fire. And Dam Busters, they say, I'm going to cry across the dam and try to draw their fire. And it, like I said, everything about Dam Busters, I mean, Dam Busters is an actual historically real movie. Or it's based off a real event, but I'm not going to get into that there. But yeah. But here, the part that gets me is like, we count 30 ships. Only 30? I would have made it. We count like 100 rebel ships or something.
Yeah, but wasn't the opening scroll that they lost a lot of fighters getting the plans for the Death Star?
Well, yeah, they lost the majority of their fighters, but still, I think they should have said 100, just because it's like 30 ships. Yeah, what the hell are they? Yeah, it is one of those, because I certainly do forgive Tarkin being like, what the hell is 30 ships going to do? Although the part that gets me, Porkins. The chubby guy is named Porkins. That's kind of cruel. Although in reality, that is how. I mean, I've talked this.
Trust the Force, Luke.
Yeah, but I've talked to you about this before. Is like, how do pilots get their nicknames? They're generally, it's a play off your name, or if you have a scar on your face, they're gonna give you. Your nicknames are not Maverick or something cool. Your nicknames are usually insults. Although the part that gets me is like, they're on a space station. How come they're only sending out this many fighters? Wouldn't you send out 100 fighters? Just really overwhelm them with the superior firepower. Although, what I do like is that in the original series, in the originals, these fighters are not doing these tricky banking maneuvers like we see here. In the originals, it's very much just, I'm turning, and that's just because the technology they had. Yeah, and then we got 2 fire. Yeah. Yeah, and then, I should have mentioned also, is like, it's earlier in the movie, he said, pick up visual scanning. Should you just say, look the fuck around?
The shooting sound?
No, the TIE fighter sound.
No.
Although here's something is that in every other X-wing fighter we see get shot, they pretty much blow up instantly. How come Luke gets shot and he's just like, I'm fine, don't worry, R2 just got that thing. Although this part here does need to be said. In the original, it looked like I do like appreciate that change because the original it looks like Reg just crashes into him. Although the part that gets me is like, if this is your actual plan, why don't you just have every single fighter line up in a line? Everybody try to lock onto the thing. Because he's he's just super. I do love how he's just super calm of like, just do this. Which, mind you, if you're a bomber pilot, you're freaking badass. Especially in World War II, where our bombers really sucked. Like the early bombers in World War II, they sucked. So yeah, and then Twitch already probably just computer straight. Just super calm. Don't worry. Why don't you guys target on too? Yeah. Why don't Yeah, here he actually gets worried because, oh shit, now they're behind us. And we have no way to get them off us. We're in trouble. Although what would actually happen is one of the fighters would continue going on. The other two fighters would pull up, turn around, and try to get behind the TIE fighters. But here it's just, it's like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, you are a fighter. You're not trying to lock onto the target, so get behind the TIE fighters and shoot them. Although it does need to be said how he's like apparently was like gold 3, and then he says, I copy gold leader. Well, in actuality, if you're gold 3 and gold 1 and gold 2 got shot down, congratulations, you just got promoted. Yeah. Although I do like how they show it, like it's like we've analyzed what they're trying to do. We actually are in trouble. Because if you actually were to be like that, you'd actually be like, hey, they're obviously targeting something. What are they targeting? And can we predict it? Because it's not that they're just randomly shooting and then, oh my god, they got lucky. It's obvious that they have a target, and yeah. So I do like how the Empire is competent enough to go, okay, they're after something. We need to figure out what it is. Yeah, but again, we have 3 fighters. We have 6 fighters. Luke, if you see the TIE fighters, kill them. And
why don't they have the other teams back? Like, isn't that the point of having teams at this point? Send one in, and the other one covers you. Like,
yeah. Well, that's what you actually did in World War II. Is because they would fight fights of 2. If you got enemy fighter behind you, you break off and get behind. One fighter would you break off because the enemy fighter is going to go after one of you, and then the other fighter he doesn't go after gets on his tail.
Yeah, like what is Luke's team even doing?
It's like what? Yeah, but like I said, it's like if what the strategy should be based on what they're doing is everybody get into that trench, everybody try to lock on, and everybody shoot, because they're clearly not going to be able to shoot down all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, yeah. Yeah, turn to 0.05. How come you don't just turn and get him? Seriously. Don't have him turn to there. How about you go to him? Yeah, if you were that close to see him ram into the thing like that, you were close enough to help. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay, we're in trouble. Although, again, how come Luke is in charge when he just joined the rebellion today, when Biggs and Wedge have apparently been in it for months?
How long has Biggs has been there for like a year or something, hasn't he? They did say that at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Biggs has been there for at least a year. Wedge in the Disney timeline. Wedge in the Disney timeline was just thrown into service because you know how to pilot go.
Wedge was in Rebels.
Yeah.
Were they both in Rebels?
I don't know. One of them makes it.
Yeah. No, Wedge wasn't Rebels, but in Rogue One,
Wedge wasn't Rebels.
He wasn't flying in the fleet because he was actually like the NPA. Yeah. Again, hey, why don't you? This part bugs me. It's like, okay, Wedge. How again? Every other X-wing aside from Luke's, we see get shot, blows up instantly. How come Wedge survives? Although it does need to be said, of like, get out, you can't do any more good back there. What was he doing to begin with? How about you stay there and make sure and be a human shield?
I thought Wedge got hit or something, so he pulled out because
Wedge got hit.
Yeah, that's why he said you'd be better back there because he's already got hit, been hit, and he's already taken damage.
They got hit a second time.
Yeah. I mean, mind you, in reality, it would make sense. Okay, pull out because you're damaged. Make sure you survive. But it's like in the situation of you just being a human shield. How about you? Damn it, Marie, you dropped again. But in that situation, it would just be, hey, continue being a human shield. Oh my gosh. But again, this part here is like, what's the point of the targeting computer? Mind you, in the actual military, most modern weapons we use are missiles. Yeah. Okay, welcome back. You dropped there for like a second. And there you go. Welcome back. The internet has not been kind to us. But yeah, use the Force, Luke. Again. Yeah.
I don't need it.
Okay, now basically what he just said is, okay, if you're like in the actual military, hey, you turned off your targeting for your missile. What the fuck are you doing? Don't worry, guys, I'm gonna eyeball it.
I got this.
Yeah. Which, mind you, I don't think you can actually fire a missile unless it's actually locked on. Yeah.
They're screwed.
Charge.
Yeah. But again, it's like, why aren't you guys all packed up and leaving at this point? Because in reality, that's what you would do.
And now that's Star Wars.
Too bad that game's not canon.
What game?
Still hoping they bring back Starkiller somehow, though. Everyone loved that game.
Oh yeah, those were super. Yeah. Although here, what always bugged me is you see the TIE Fighter, of course, take a position above. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna be a human shield for you. No, it's like, but he actually like clips the wing and fly. Dude, you were flying way too fucking close. If you clipped the wing,
yeah, he would have he would have been pulled in.
Oh,
because that thing is so large, the size of a small moon. It's got gravity of its own at this point. Like no one's just blindly falling away from it. Flying it near that thing would be a pain in the ass, I would think.
Yeah. It does need to be said, we did see one extra Y-Wings flying away. It's like, so one Y-Wing survived the battle. Don't worry, guys.
Oh, other than Luke and Wedge?
Yeah, you see one Y-Wing flying away.
No. Do we know who that is?
Right there.
Yep. Who survived the Battle of Yavin 4?
Are you actually looking up the character?
Yeah.
I don't remember the character.
Every single person, but we're super excited because they blew up in the end.
Oh, yeah, look. 2 surviving X-Wings and the lone surviving Y-Ring and the aging freighter, the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
So it's Skywalker Antilles and Gold 3 Evan Verlaine.
Well, we see didn't we see Gold 3 get shot down?
No, I guess not.
It might have been gold. It might have been a different gold number, but I'm pretty sure it was gold. We could be wrong, but yeah.
Maybe you got Gold Leader and Gold 3 confused after all then.
No, but we have Gold Leader and then.
Well, Gold Leader died. He didn't make it.
Hold on. I'm going to look it up. Hold on, because it could be Gold 3.
I believe the internet. This is from Wikipedia. This is from people who have watched this movie more times than you and I combined.
Yeah, no doubt.
For some reason, I just really like Luke's yellow coat.
It was Gold 5 who got shot down, not Gold 3. My bad. Yeah, although a question that needs to be asked here is how come Wedge and Gold 3 aren't getting medals too? And that's number 1. And number 2, how come you guys are having this ceremony and not packing the fuck up and getting the fuck out? Because the Empire now knows where your base is. Boom.
I don't think they're on Yavin anymore, are they?
Yeah, they are. They are still on Yavin.
Well, they get
This is confirmed to be a Yavin temple. The wink. But yeah, I mean, mind you could certainly make the argument, okay, it's going to take the Empire like a couple days to actually send the forces after us, but still, use that.
Yeah, it's not like they just destroyed the entire Empire. They only destroyed the Death Star.
A battle station. That would be like...
We didn't even see Palpatine.
Yeah.
Palpatine wasn't even in this movie.
Yeah.
I guess, though, to be fair, this movie was a standoff until it was so or a one-off until it was so successful.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, mind you, it is. I do think that George Lucas planned on doing other movies. He didn't have the actual story.
If this had been the only movie and like the rest were never made, this would make sense. They're on Yavin. They destroyed the Empire. Everything's fine.
Yeah, it is 100% a good standalone movie. But yeah, that does need to be said. Of like how come this movie is so? But that's part of why I say my theory about how is it that Gene Roddenberry, George Lucas, M. Night Shyamalan, they all go from being these amazing directors, and then they all of a sudden create shit. My personal theory is that when George Lucas made this, James Earl Jones is
they did.
Mind you. Huh. Mind you, this is after God knows how many freaking reshoots and edits.
Yeah, I was gonna say I went to IMDb for the credits, and James Earl Jones was not in them, and this was recent. So I'm wondering, were those credits in the original movie, or did Disney add them afterwards?
Couldn't tell you.
This is the updated one.
I know this is the updated one.
But yeah, no. But what I was saying is
like, shot at the same time.
Bullshit.
I know.
Such bullshit.
But like I was saying, how is it George Lucas and Gene Roddenberry, et cetera, all go from being like they make something really good, but then their later projects kind of suck? My personal theory is that they kind of start believing their own hype. Because when George Lucas was making this movie and was making the original trilogy for the entire thing, he wasn't yet George Lucas. He was just a guy trying to make movies. But when he made the prequels, he was a genius with a message to spread to all, because that's all everybody had been telling him, and he got caught up in his own hype. And I think that's what happened with him, with Gene Roddenberry, with M. Night Shyamalan, et cetera. Because it happens all the time about how someone will make a great product and then their next product sucks.
I don't know. Gene was a part of a lot of the 90s Star Treks, and they were all super popular.
Okay, most of them were, but he did have a lot of flops too.
I mean, I don't know if they were flops. It was just I know a lot of the stuff because he tried to reboot Star Trek before the Star Trek movie came out. The plot of the movie. But people weren't picking it up. It's not because he sucked at it. It's just because studios weren't interested at the time.
Well, it does need to be said, the first Star Trek movie, which I don't think we'll ever get to just because it is so damn boring, is that one I don't blame him for that movie being so bad, because he's used to making a TV show and now he's got to make a movie. Good luck on that one. That doesn't really work.
James Earl Jones, Darth Vader, uncredited.
Oh, well, So, mind you,
Disney must have added that credit in themselves, because that was in the original.
Or it could have been edited, and it could have been edited in one of the hundreds of times.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
So because like I said, how often has this movie been re-released?
It's upon the computer.
More often than I care to count. And that's something else I kind of wanted to talk about, but we'll get into it another time. So but that was Star Wars. I really, really wish your internet hasn't dropped out 4 times, but still, what are you gonna do? But yeah, we will. Next year when I go down to Texas, which I'm planning to do because Sioux Falls is gonna open up the airport to Texas or to Austin soon.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
As soon as that happens, but like I said, next year I am planning to go to Texas, but we will have to do an actual Snarkfest of us two in a room without the freaking internet dropping us.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Although, but like I said, I do have Pro, so we may have like Becky or someone else.
That's fine.
Be like joining us online, which hopefully God, it works out better. But anyway, so yes, that was Star Wars. Like I said, I love this movie. I've seen this movie more times than I can count.
It's a very simple movie. It's not perfect, but for some reason, it's just captured all our hearts just to be super cheesy for a second.
But here's something that doesn't need to be said. It's like you said, it's a super simple movie, but I think that's part of why people like it, because it isn't super deep. You don't have to understand. You don't have to understand about what Darth Vader is doing, blah blah blah. You just have to know, oh, he's the bad guy, and that's all you need. That's all you need to do to make a good movie. So, I mean, obviously it should. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if you set up a backstory behind it, you need to have it be that these people have actual motivations. You can't just have evil people obviously be evil. Because here's the thing: most people don't think themselves evil. Like as much as I hate to invoke Godwin's law, even the majority of the Nazis didn't think they were actual bad guys.
No, but there are a lot of people out there who are like sociopaths, and they don't.
Well, of course.
They don't care about. They literally don't care about others. They only care about themselves and getting to like the top of the company or getting some kind of power. And that's what most people would view as evil. And to me, that's what I think a lot of bad guys are. They're people who just want personal power and don't care what it takes to get it.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate when they seem to decide to make every villain be like a sympathetic, he used to be a person just like you. No, I don't think so. The average person doesn't like have a couple bad days and decide to start like, I'm going to take the world and kill people and not care. Like,
like, I mean, because, well, here's the thing. How many bad days have you had in your life? Probably more than you care to count. How many people have you decided to up and murder?
Yeah.
Probably zero.
And that's like one of the things why I hate episode 3. Anakin chose to kill little kids. And it's not even like I can understand if he wanted to destroy the Jedi because he was tricked into believing that they're evil and that they should be taken apart. Fine. But that doesn't mean you kill the young kids that are a part of it. That means you kill the adults and then you convince the kids to join you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a big leap there of like, okay, he joins the dark side to save Padme. Okay, I can follow that.
Yeah.
But then it goes from him, okay, I'm joining the dark side to save Padme, to, okay, I'm on the dark side, I'm going to automatically murder children.
Yeah, it's like, no. That's why, like, watching these movies and see him and see Luke bring him back from the dark side, it's like he decided to kill children.
Mind you, if the story was that Padme died and then he decides to kill children, that's a little bit more believable, because
if he had done it in a rage, it's still bad, but you can kind of understand why.
But remember, he killed them all.
But
that made sense, because again, that was like, oh, my mom just died, I lost all sense, and I killed a bunch of people when he killed
he killed the same people.
But he chose. No one had died. He was still very quite sane. It's like seeing Palpatine, or I guess in his mind, he saw Mace Windu try to kill Palpatine. Okay, so now you're going to randomly kill the... I guess maybe that's what they were going for?
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense of him stopping.
I don't know.
Mace Windu like he does.
It was just building stupid.
But like I said, I'm even willing to go, even if he's not in a rage, if after Padme died, he still does it, because I know, like, when I lost Kendra, it took a lot for me to stay sane. All right. I mean, there was, like I said, like I've mentioned several times before, there was a 2-week period where I was dead to the world, where I hardly ate, where my skin literally turned yellow because all I was eating was like candy bars and shit.
Jeez.
So yeah, like I said, there was a 2-week period of me just being nothing but just like, I was a zombie. I was the Walking Dead. I had nothing. And it took a while for me. And like I said, there were 2 weeks of like that. And I don't want to make it sound like, oh, after those 2 weeks I was good. No, after those 2 weeks I was still bad. But that's where I actually started to open, like, okay, we're actually starting to actually have feelings again. Because like I said, for 2 weeks I was a zombie. I was not thinking. I was the Walking Dead. My brain was not. I was not here. Like, as my body was just doing motions. I wasn't here. I was just, like I said, the Walking Dead. So
yeah.
So like I said, I'm willing to accept that after Padme died, that Anakin would go, you know what, screw the rules. I mean, and like my Darth Cosmos character I've mentioned 100 times before. He's basically like me, except he snaps after he loses his loved one. So that's basically how I view the character. Is he's me if I had broken when I lost everything. That's how I view him, and that's pretty much of like, oh, how is he so evil? Because he's like, why do they get to be happy? That's basically his reasoning. So, but yeah, like I said, he knows what he's doing is bad, but he just doesn't care anymore. So.
Yeah.
But like I said, that doesn't account for the majority of people. But anyway.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, that.
Anyway.
Yeah, again, that was A New Hope. Like I said, quintessential. Although I should actually ask you before we go, I want to ask you. Can you name what do you think is the worst movie to the best Star Wars movie? Can you go in order like that? What do you think is the worst to best?
Isn't that what we've been watching these in the order of?
Well, that's kind of what we started, but if we were actually going to do that, we would actually watch Return of the Jedi next, because in my opinion, The Empire Strikes Back is the best movie.
I agree.
That's fair.
So yeah.
No, that's true. I think Empire is like it's hard for me to pick between Empire and the Return of the Jedi, which one I like more. But I don't know. I remember growing up, my older sister hated Empire Strikes Back, and then we watched it one day. We wanted to watch them all in order, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, I really don't want to watch Empire. Can we skip it? And me and my little sister were like, no, we gotta watch them all. And we did. She's like, oh, holy crap, that movie's actually a lot better than I remember it being. And we're like, it's amazing.
Yeah. Although I will say, a lot of the reason I think Empire Strikes Back is better than Return of the Jedi is because Return of the Jedi is kind of almost two movies. Because you have the first bit of, okay, we got to rescue Han, and then you got the second bit of, okay, we got to fight the Empire. I think what they needed, I mean, obviously they can't do this now because, it's so long ago, but a way they could tie that in together is have it that Han had the plans to the second Death Star. I mean, that way it's like, okay, we have to save her.
No, I think they're going to put too much on it. Like, because the whole Han thing, obviously, you see in this movie with the added scene, but even without it, like, Han being a smuggler wanted by the Hutts is a subplot that's always there. So, like, they need to come back to that, which is what happens in the second movie, is it collides with the main plot, which is nice. And then you have to resolve it. I mean, it's like... it's a lot of movies and like stories do that where like for a bit it seems like the subplot takes over a little too much, and maybe that's what you feel with the beginning of the Return of the Jedi.
Well,
but
my more point is because as a movie it does make sense that you have to address this. You have to address this. But thinking about it in like actual reality, like, okay, we're at war. Why are we going to go rescue this guy? Even if he's a general, why are we going to go rescue this general when we're fighting a war?
But that's just it, right? The ones, like, it's a very elite task force that goes in to rescue him. It's not like they used all of the rebel forces. It's Leia who's in love with Han. It's Luke who feels responsible. It's Lando who also feels responsible. Like it's and Chewie, who's his best friend and owes him a life debt. That's 4 people out of the entire rebel force. And remember, it's been like 2 to 3 years since he was captured, and they actually go to rescue him. It's not like it happens right away. It took them time to develop a plan. Took them time to get with, I guess, a spot in the war to have the time to go do it. So it kind of makes sense. Like, it's not actually taking away from the greater effort. And, like, they put it there because obviously Jabba's trying to kill him because the Empire knew they would try to get him back eventually, but
I would agree with that, except for one thing, is that Leia is the political drive. She's the political force behind the rebellion.
Yeah, but again, she's in love with Han. She's not, for 3 years, she put aside her feelings to drive the war. That's what I mean. Like, it took some time for them to get to a point where they could be like, all right, Leia, you can go attempt to rescue your loved one now. Like, it's not, I mean, the Clone Wars only took place in 3 years, for crying out loud.
That is fair. That is fair. Although, but like I said, I still think, like I said, it's kind of a disconnect, because like I said, it just bugs me how it's it's basically 2 movies where don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it's just that part always goes, because like I said, it's like, okay, we gotta go risk on, and then there's like, I think they needed to interweave it a little bit better. Mind you, how you do that, I don't know. Like I said, maybe you could have it that Han knew the plans, or maybe you could have it that, hey, only Han is good enough. Only Han is good enough to do that. Blah blah. So I mean, there are arguments that are. I mean, like I said, there are ways you could do it, but I kind of wish it was tied in a little bit better. Because, like I said, as it stands, it is kind of just 2 movies.
Losing on in the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, like, the other thing they could have done was maybe decide to rescue Han after they destroyed, beat the Death Star, kind of like the scourging of the Shire, right? Like, Frodo destroys the ring, but oh crap, he has to save his, his hometown now. Like, they could have done it that way, but I don't think it would have worked as well for Star Wars for a couple of reasons. Like James said, it really impacts more doing it at the beginning because you just got off with him being captured at the end. And a part of it too is I think it's Luke trying to practice being a Jedi. After all his training, he's trying to do the mind tricks on Jabba. Obviously they don't work. I feel like that's him finally being tested as a Jedi, which gives him the courage and the confidence to finally go after and face Vader a second time.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't disagree with you on any points. But like I said, it just kind of bugs me because, like I said, it's just it's like this when it should be like this. Like I said, they're not really interwoven like it should be. And like I said,
I have no problem with the beginning scene. I don't know what you're complaining about. I think it makes sense.
It's like I said, my problem is it's just like, okay, our first set is to go rescue Han, and then to finish the movie, where it should be, okay, we have to rescue Han because he's going to destroy the movie or something. Like I said, it's one of those things that it for me personally, it doesn't flow like it should. It's just, okay, we start and stop and then start again and stop again. It's just like I said, it doesn't flow together like it should, in my opinion.
I think it flows.
But like I said, that's just
the movie ends with him being frozen. They free him, and then they are able to continue with the overall plot. I don't know. It's fine.
Like you said, I don't hate the movie in any way, and like I said, it is still a good movie. I mean, it's just in my opinion, it didn't flow like it should, just because it's like I said, it's two separate movies. But that's each their own. I mean, everybody's gonna have different opinions, obviously. Like Harry Potter's a primary example. You adore Harry Potter. I couldn't care less because I've never read the books, never gonna, and the movies are on. I mean, they're good movies so far, anyway. But I'm not invested in them. So
that's fine.
Jacob, I do say that you should read the books.
No, it's fine. Anyway, all right, we've been going on about this for a while. So
yeah, fair enough. So we were going to end the stream. So. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And again, I have Pro now, so if you want to start joining us, send me messages. If you got movies you want to, let's get involved. Obviously, we're going to finish off Star Wars in the next 2 weeks. So Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi. But after that, we'll have someone else joining as another regular. I don't want to say who, although if you've been following this for a while, you do know. But yeah, so there is a fourth spot that is available. If anybody wants to join, let me know. So thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.